This kid was very quiet in school, so the bully thought he would be an easy target. On one Monday, the bully put a fake spider on this kid's notebook, expecting him to freak out. He's gonna freak out. But the kid sat down, saw it, and got excited instead. Oh cool, a spider! Oh man, it's fake! On Wednesday, the bully put a bunch of paper shreddings in this kid's locker, expecting him to get mad that it was so inconvenient. This'll be so inconvenient for him. But no, he started playing in it with his friends. Oh, come on guys! Look at this! It's raining paper! On Thursday, the bully dumped a bucket of water on him. Oh, thank you so much, man. It's a hot one today. After that, the bully just stood there. He didn't know what to do anymore. He turned around, walked away, and he never messed with that kid again, because no matter what he did, the kid had the time of his life. There was a kid at this school that got famous for designing lockers. Every weekend, he would go to Five Below, Dollar Tree, or Walmart. He would buy tiny mirrors, magnetic shelves, fake plants, LED light strips, mini rugs, wallpaper, anything that would look cool in a locker. Then his classmates would hire him to completely redesign the inside of their locker. Before he touched anything, he had a series of questions. Do you want modern or a vintage look? You like sports? You want it minimalist? You have a favorite comic book character? What's your favorite color? He would then sketch the layout first in a notebook. Then, that night, he would go through all the stuff that he would have from Five Below, Dollar Tree, Walmart, and he would get together what he needed. Now, he only worked on the weekends. You see, his mom worked at the school, and there were events that would happen at the school during the weekends, so he was allowed to go in. And that's when he would design their locker. By Monday, the kids would come in, go to their locker, and it was completely redone. Beautiful. It wasn't free at all. You had to pay him money, 20, sometimes 50 bucks, depending on what you wanted. This business was so respected and well known, some parents would even contact him to surprise their kids with a redesigned locker. One year, the school held a best decorated locker contest, and he didn't enter, but out of the top 10 lockers, he designed 8 of them. What a legend! You gotta respect the hustle. One day at one school, this kid brought an entire rotisserie chicken in. Nobody knew why, but during lunch, he took this rotisserie chicken to the bathroom and shoved it in the toilet and flushed. Well, that messed things up pretty bad because that bathroom, every single toilet started backing up, overflowing. The janitor pulled the entire rotisserie chicken out of one of the pipes. Principal got on the announcements the next morning. After yesterday's incident, students are reminded to never flush a rotisserie chicken in the toilets. Please. Now, everyone thought that was the funniest announcement they have ever heard, and the school's #1 mistake was that announcement, because now that kid was a legend, and well, he had started a trend. The next week, another chicken showed up flushed in the toilet. Then another. Students were sneaking them in their backpacks and seeing if they could get away with it. It got so bad, the janitors started checking people as they were coming in. By the end of that semester, the school had spent thousands and thousands of dollars on plumbing repairs. And for years after this, everyone remembered the great rotisserie chicken flush. Gotta respect the hustle. This kid's dad told him, "Every dollar you earn this summer, I'll match it." Cowabunga! The dad figured the kid might mow a few lawns, wash a couple cars, maybe make $100, 200 max. But this kid took the deal way too seriously. He began waking up before anybody else in his family, dragging garbage cans back to people's houses, mowing their lawns, like I said, cleaning their cars, bringing in their groceries, and people were tipping him. He sold water bottles and Gatorades at the baseball games. He used some of the money to rent out a pressure washer, and he started a pressure washing business that summer. When all was said and done, at the end of that summer, he sat his dad down at the kitchen table. "All right, Dad, have a seat. I'm gonna count up the money I made." "All right, son, let's see what you did." Pulled out a notebook, and he said, "Okay, I made $3,842. Milk! Huh? I mean, you made how much? $3,842. You remember our deal, don't you, Pop? You know the deal. Every dollar gets matched. Well, his dad tried to explain to him that he only said he would do that to motivate him. And it seems like he did pretty well without me having to match it, so I think we're good, right? You said every dollar, Dad. You said every dollar. The dad ended up having to pay his son the matched money in monthly installments because he didn't have it at the time. But the kid said his dad tried to get out of it. He just wouldn't let him. You gotta respect the hustle. This teacher confiscated this one kid's phone during class one day. She walked over, took it, and set it on the corner of her desk. About 20 minutes later, while everybody was working quietly, the teacher stepped out of the room for a second, and the kid saw his chance. He walked up to the front of the classroom like he was throwing away a piece of paper. He secretly grabbed his phone and put it in his hoodie. He then sat down before the teacher came back. A few minutes later, the teacher comes back into the room, looks at her desk, and kind of freezes. She's checking her desk, looking around, lifting up papers, opens every single drawer. Finally, she looks up and says, "Okay, has anybody seen Kyle's phone that I took? It was right here." Oh no. The whole class started looking, even the kid. What? You just took it, ma'am. Everybody was looking under desks, checking behind the bookshelf. At the end of class, they had all finally given up. He acted very sad that his phone was missing. You see, there were no cameras in the classroom. The next day, the teacher came to school with a check written to this kid's parents to buy a new one. And that, my friends, is what I call an evil genius. There was a family who kept the same gallon of unopened chocolate milk for 6 years. When the dad bought it 6 years ago, nobody was allowed to drink it. He was convinced that unopened food and beverage would become a collectible and rare over time. He started referring to the milk as an investment. Every few months, he would take it out of the fridge, polish it down, and put it back in the exact same spot. The kids weren't even allowed to move it. One afternoon, the son was moving it around looking for a juice box in the fridge. "Careful! That could pay for your college one day!" Sure it will, Dad. Sure it will. He's insane. They all thought their dad was insane, but the dad kept researching old food online, on eBay, and kept showing the family. "See, look, this unopened bag of chips sold for $2,000 last year." "Yeah, Dad, that's chips. You're saving milk." Eventually, he bought a tiny refrigerator just to keep this gallon of milk in, and he put a lock on it. The family begged him to throw it away every single day, but he wouldn't. By the end of year 6, this gallon of milk was getting swollen. And one night, they heard a pop coming from the garage. He goes in there. The milk carton had exploded in that tiny fridge that he bought. The smell was so bad, they had to hire a crime scene cleanup company to come and clean it up. This kid said his dad wouldn't stop crying for days. That's pretty sus. This kid got invited to his friend's house for the first time. As soon as they finished lunch, his friend yelled, "Hey mom, we're going outside." And then the mom walked over carrying 2 black ankle straps with a lock on them and a box attached to each. She buckled one around her son's ankle and then the other one around the visiting kid's ankle. The kid immediately asked, "What's this?" And the mom just pointed towards the backyard. You see, there was an invisible fence running along the entire edge of the property. "I don't want you boys to wander off." These ankle bands were connected to the same system that would keep the dog in the yard, an invisible fence. If they crossed the property line, it would start beeping, and if they went farther, it would zap him. His friend acted like it was completely normal. "Yeah, she just wants us to be safe." They played football in the backyard that day, but the ball was thrown too far and the visiting kid forgot about the bracelet. He stepped out of bounds, started beeping, and then, oh no, honestly, that's not okay.
Upside down mug prank on my boyfriend.
Cam,
Yeah.
do you want to try this hot chocolate I just made?
Sure. Is it special?
Yeah, I made it for a coffee TikTok. You want to try some?
Sure.
Why are you being weird?
I don't know. This feels like a prank.
It's not. I just made hot chocolate. I made you coffee this morning. Why is this weird?
Okay, well that's my mug on your side.
So you want this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
Does that ruin your prank?
It's not a...
Why is it cold?
Because it's cold chocolate.
What? It's cold chocolate?
I thought it was just this top part is so obvious. Like, obviously it's not hot chocolate. I didn't know anything was inside it, though.
Rate your hot chocolate.
7.
There was a kid at recess who became the official referee. It started because these two groups of friends got into a huge argument about if somebody was out during their kickball game. Nobody trusted either team, so they asked this one kid to decide. Yeah, I was watching. He was definitely out. Both teams accepted it. Well, he started a little business. Pretty soon, if you wanted to play football, kickball, capture the flag, or even some completely made-up random game, you would ask this kid to referee. If it was a new game, the teams had to explain to him, okay, so if the potato goes into the hole, you lose, but if you miss, it's a point? A lot of times it didn't make sense, but he took what he got, and he reffed the game. And once the games would begin, his word was final. He made the calls. Now, in order to get this kid to ref your game, you would have to give him something. He didn't accept money. He didn't care about it. He wanted goods, snacks, drinks, cool items. He even wore a cool black and white striped shirt with a whistle, and everyone thought he was a legend. And that is because he is. You gotta respect the hustle. On the first day of class, this teacher walked in and wrote his name on the board. Mr. Stevenson. He told everyone to open their textbooks. And that was his entire teaching method. That entire class, he made the students copy, word for word, everything that was in chapter 1. Well, students started asking questions. Why did the Roman Empire fall, Mr. Stevenson? He would just say, it should tell you in your textbook. Who won the War of 1812? It should tell you in your textbook. Well, what year did World War II end? That's not in the chapter, but the textbook should tell you. Shortly after that, the principal walked in. Excuse me, who are you? I'm Mr. Stevenson. Sir, you don't work here. I was coming in because the sub never showed up. Mr. Stevenson wasn't a teacher the school hired. Mr. Stevenson was just some random guy that showed up to that school that day, walked into that classroom, and pretended to teach the class. The police did come, and he did get a fine. That's insane. This kid would fight with his sister every day about who got to use the TV remote. They only had one television, and whoever had the remote in their possession would control what everyone watched. One afternoon, this kid grabbed it and switched on his favorite show, but he turned off the show his sister had been watching. Hey, that's not fair! Yeah, it's fair enough. She climbed across the couch. She grabbed his wrist, and they started wrestling for the remote. The mom yelled from the kitchen, "If I have to come in there, nobody's watching TV for the rest of the week." They froze for about 3 seconds. Then they continued fighting. His sister finally snapped. She ripped the remote out of his hands and smacked him in the face. It didn't really hurt at first, but then it stung. He walked to the bathroom, looked at himself in the mirror, and that's when he saw it. Oh my God. There was a perfect rectangular mark on his face, and inside the rectangle, backwards, but completely readable, it said, "Made in China." Oh God! Their mom took one look at it and knew exactly what happened. Both of the kids were grounded from TV for the rest of the week, but that mark remained on his face for a long time. He was walking around looking like he'd been manufactured overseas. It's insane.